The New York Giants have released Daniel Jones. What does this mean in terms of cap implications? What does this mean for Brian Daboll, Joe Schoen's job? Let's talk about it. What is going on, New York Giant fans? I haven't done a video like this in a while, but this required doing a video, something that's not 30 seconds or as short. Welcome back to the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on post notifications so you know when a live stream pops or a video drops. Appreciate y'all coming back. Share this out. Do all of the good stuff. So, the New York Giants, and of course we have a preview coming out tomorrow for the Bucks Giants game. I'll be doing that with Mr. Bad Takes Brian. The New York Giants have released quarterback Daniel Jones, and it was a very funny turn of events the last year and a half to see, what's been going on with this organization. So I'm not going to go back to the timeline of when he was drafted, but because everyone's caught up to that. You go to 2022, he takes the Giants to playoffs, essentially as the quarterback, and then he gets signed to this $160 million extension over 4 years. Cut out after 2. They didn't adjust his contract. They didn't restructure his contract. So he gets injured in 2023. Leads the Giants to a 1-5 record when he did play towards ACL. And the Giants came back with a worse quarterback room in 2024. Thank you, Joe Schoen. With Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito. And they didn't draft a quarterback. They didn't get a good enough backup quarterback. This is my personal opinion. And utterly, no competition, right? And this was the most pivotal year for Daniel Jones, being that he was going to be cut next year, or could be. And he's coming off of a neck and an ACL injury. So they don't do that stuff. They draft Malik Nabers to help him instead. And Daniel Jones has one of the worst years of his career, in my opinion. The Giants, with him as starting quarterback, were 2-8, 63.3 completion percentage, 8 touchdowns, 7 INTs, and 2,070 yards. So why did the Giants do this? Of course, it is because, number one, he wasn't playing well. Number two, the Giants were 2-8. Number three, well, the Giants had an injury guarantee in the contract. I don't know who set it up, his agent or Joe Schoen. They set it up, whoever did. $23 million if this guy goes down. It's not like, oh, he sprains his ankle or he has a concussion. No, it's like a prolonged injury, whether it's an ACL tear, a muscle tear, something along those lines. And the Giants did not want to trigger that. So they did the Russell Wilson type thing earlier this week. And of course, everyone had their bets on when the rumblings would come about in terms of Daniel Jones being benched. He looked horrible against the Carolina Panthers, who at the time were the worst team in the NFL. So the Giants obviously said that they were going to look into different options and evaluate, and they came with, I think it was on Monday or one of the days after the bye week, they said Daniel Jones is not going to be our starting quarterback. He's going to be one of the backups, Drew Lock QB2, and Tommy DeVito is going to be QB1. So later in the week, they add Tim Boyle on the practice squad, and Daniel Jones is QB4. Now, you ask yourself, why would he be QB4? He's still on the roster. Well, Tim Boyle was taking more snaps than him. Tim Boyle was also learning the playbook. And Daniel Jones was basically doing not much of anything. He was also a part of the scout team as a safety. So, for some reason, the Giants wanted to do that. I don't know why they did, because they knew the implications of that was, okay, well, if we do this, you kind of have to think, right? Again, well, if we do this, the media is going to blow up. And it was all over Twitter on Thursday. Daniel Jones is playing safety in practice, right? So after that, you have Daniel Jones. I didn't watch his presser, and he looks sad and he looks disheartened. You see the feeling in his face. And I'm like, at this point, I'm not a Daniel Jones guy, but you just got to release him. So that's what the New York Giants did today. They released Daniel Jones. Now, my personal thoughts before we go into cap implications and other stuff is, truthfully, you probably don't want to see a guy lose his job, but Daniel Jones has been pushed in our face for 6 years. The last few, he's been pushed in our face by other content creators, fans, the media, and the Giants. They've pushed Daniel Jones in our face, and they've given him a number of excuses. It's the receivers, it's the O-line, it's the coaches. Meanwhile, the Giants have created this mess. So it's a good feeling that the era is over. Daniel Jones will get a job this year, in my personal opinion, whether it's for a practice squad or starting for the Dallas Cowboys on Thanksgiving, which would be the funniest thing ever. So I'm just glad that the era is over with and the Giants have put themselves in a spot where we know the direction. We know that they're going to get a quarterback next year, whether it's free agency or the draft. Now, here's the thing. What does it mean for the jobs of Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll? In terms of cap implications, right, we talk about those. $47.1 million this year of dead cap, $22.2 next year. And when we hit 2025 in March, free agency-wise, $19.4 million will be adjusted and freed in terms of New York Giants cap. But in terms of what this does for Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen, it puts a little bit more pressure on them, right? Joe Schoen, maybe not as much. Brian Daboll, it does. Because you bench Daniel Jones, who was your go-to guy for the last 3 years, right? You start Tommy DeVito. The Drew Lock thing is utterly fucking stupid because you sign a guy $5 million, you don't want to pay his incentives, so you sit him at QB2, and he's distressed with that. He's frustrated, but that's a separate entity. So you start Tommy DeVito. Either way, you're going to some alternate QB option that you brought in. And the offense is 32nd in scoring. They're like top 15 in terms of rushing, but they're also bottom 10 in terms of passing. So what you need to do now, contrary to what I want to do, is I want to lose on purpose, but that's a fan talk. That's not a content creator talk. That's a fan talk. Is Brian Daboll will have to win some games now because I think he's playing for his job a little bit. Now, I could be wrong, and John Merrick could stick to his guns, unlike some things he has done before where he says Joe Judge and Ben McAdoo are safe, and those guys ended up getting fired. But Brian Daboll, in my opinion, will need to win some games, show that Tommy DeVito is playing above his skill level, and that the offense is at least clicking to a half-decent NFL offense to save his job. Because it's not just, Daboll's head coach. He is also the play caller on the offensive side of the football. So that's where that goes. As far as Joe Schoen, it's going to reflect on him a little less. Personally, I think both should be gone at the end of the year because you want to start fresh with a new quarterback coming in and et cetera, et cetera. But for Joe Schoen, it reflects a little less. The play on the field is more concerned towards Brian Daboll, but the personnel that they brought in, Drew Lock, obviously $5 million, and you don't want to pay his incentives. And Tommy DeVito, who you kept over, that's going to reflect on Joe Schoen. The aspect of he brung these guys in and how they play on the field, that's Brian Daboll. But I didn't want to do anything too long. I just wanted to do a short video here. Let me know your thoughts. Are you happy for Daniel Jones? Are you happy for the Giants? Are you happy for yourself that Daniel Jones is gone and that the era is over? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications so you know when the live stream pops or your drops. Appreciate you coming back. We'll have a podcast tomorrow. Bucks Giants preview. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.